Fuck
I
this
will
kid.
not erase.
Fuck this guy.
I will not
Fuck
erase.
these people.
Hi friends, if you don't know, Tenebrous, he's a YouTuber. He's really good at PvP. He makes some content. Generally, he's pretty okay. I watch his videos from time to time. Ungenerally, he's been kind of following in Leafy's footsteps recently, and it is rude. And in some of these videos, he starts viciously attacking people. He goes after a lot of Hypixel helpers, some of which he's never even talked to directly, but he's just attacking them for saying something wrong on the screenshot. He was sent by someone else. It's not just like it's friendly banter, haha, this helper said something stupid. He goes off on them pretty hard. Let's try to put a stop to it, I guess, sure. To start, let us talk directly to the man. Tenebrous, the actual base content of these videos you're making, it's mostly fine. You talk about how when the Hypixel helpers are answering all these questions incorrectly, the staff need to be more educated when it comes to mods and hacks. I could agree. Usually you give some fair criticisms, and that's good. The video as a whole would be good if not for the fact that you are constantly swearing, shouting, insulting, and disrespecting the people you're talking about in your videos. Don't want to make any assumptions, a lot of the time it sounds like it's all said with malicious intent, or at the very least a disregard for common decency. It's not acceptable, even if it's on the internet, and I hate to go SJW here, but this is like basic etiquette that should be understood universally, internet or real life. Just like, you shouldn't be mean, because there's no harm in being nice. Now here we look into your actual videos. I want to show the viewers your sort of rhetoric here, your speech mannerisms, the way you discuss the matters at hand.
There's a lot
Who
of
gives a
fuck.
fuck?
You're retarded.
So you can see this all for yourself. It's beyond simply rude. It's very toxic and aggressive, and as a YouTuber with this sort of platform, you are encouraging viewers to get in on this same aggressive, insulting behavior. As expected, people come out to speak up against you. You respond to the backlash in your videos, and usually speaking directly to your critics' words is a good thing. But let's see the way you're responding to it all.
And I mean, you know, it was a simple common mistake. And it was one thing for him to post on Twitter about this and make a joke about it, you know, that's humiliating enough for the helper, but then he made an entire video.
Oh my god, the whole video! Oh god, he made a video! Wow! Oh, who the fuck cares?
So you mock Lego Maestro for making his point, but you don't really address it. Lego Maestro's point was that you dedicated an entire video to attacking some random helper, and they were going to receive a lot of hate from the exposure. You just mocked him, you were like, oh wow, I made an entire video, so what, who cares? Like, I don't know if you just missed the entire point of what Lego Maestro was saying, because you did not address the argument properly at all.
You know, the main excuse people used last time I did this type of thing, oh my god, Tenebrous, it's just an isolated incident. Tenebrous, it's only happening once. It's only one helper. Okay, yeah, this is a problem across the staff team, blatantly across the staff team. I mean, look at this right here. As you can see, he clearly doesn't know that Vape is a hacked client and not a mod.
The counter-argument here is not too bad, but Tenebrous, you missed a major point in which you could have just blocked off their entire argument by simply saying, I have other videos showing other staff screwing up, it is not just one incident. Instead, you looked further into this one singular post, saying he doesn't know what vape is. You looking at this one helper's lack of knowledge doesn't show that the whole staff team has a problem. That does not prove much of anything against the argument presented to you. We're talking about this being only one isolated incident, which it isn't. You didn't disprove that theory very well at all, and this is proof of what's wrong with rushing a video without a script. I will discuss that later. You don't refute this point very well, and just spending a little more time thinking about it could have increased the power of your argument magnanimously. This should have been a really easy one.
And it was one thing for him to post on Twitter about this and make a joke about it, you know, that's humiliating enough for the helper.
Oh, who cares? He doesn't know what aim assist is. You're retarded.
Here, again, Lego Maestro points out that it's a humiliating situation for the helper, and you just laugh it off as, who cares, they don't know what aim assist is. So what you're really saying is, I don't care about the hate they're receiving, it's all justified because they don't know what this hacked client is. They deserve it. Is this the logic at play here? Because quite frankly, that's disgustingly uncaring. I'm not going to go into this now, because I'm going to discuss more about what people deserve later down the line.
But Tenebrous, your content is trash. You just look at a single picture, and then that's all you see, okay? That's all you laugh at. You laugh at the single picture for 5 minutes. What? I don't care. I don't care, okay? Fuck you. Fuck you, JT Techi.
We're beginning to see a trend here. Argument is brought up, it is dismissed with, who cares, now I'm gonna swear at you and be rude. Ha ha ha, real content. This isn't the video's focus, but the people you're talking about, They are right, this is all you do. Someone sends you a picture, you whip up a 5-minute video of you laughing at it, very, very minimal effort. You disregard the argument because they're right. Because you couldn't deal with that argument, you didn't give an actual response. I will go into the lack of effort part later in more depth. For now, we stick on topic. So a lot of the time you say, who cares, is against the more touchy-feely kind of arguments. By that, I mean, those arguments are made on the basis of common morals and ethics. Hey, this is rude, you're attacking these people, there is a human cost here. I don't know if it's just because this is the internet, but you seem to think that these arguments don't mean anything. Which is probably why you think you can just dismiss them as, who cares? You can't. These are actual arguments, but you just want to turn a blind eye to the fact that you're doing this at people's expense, and really it's a pretty scummy move. But the broader, more general thing we're seeing here is that you really like to ignore the decent arguments. Who cares happens to come out of your mouth a lot. The easy arguments, you can handle, and you take them on because you know you can win them. I did the same thing, that's understandable. However, the way you deal with the actual arguments, you just disregard them. You close your eyes and pretend they don't exist. Is that being a good and mature person? Is this being able to take criticism? Criticism. That's another thing. You tell others that they can't take criticism, yet you yourself seemingly cannot. See the following.
You cannot take criticism. You cannot take fucking criticism. Learn to take criticism.
It's humiliating enough for the helper.
Who cares? But Tenebrous, you laugh at the single picture for 5 minutes. I don't care. Fuck you.
But then he made an entire video.
Who the fuck cares? Learn to take criticism.
Hypocrisy, I don't know how you pronounce it. Either way, you have been a major hypocrite here because whenever you receive legitimate criticism, it's just, who cares? And that's all. But when Hypixel thinks that you baited the helper, oh no, they can't take criticism.
This is a fucking block game for like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, block game for 10-year-olds and you're getting all riled up and angry about it. This doesn't sound very reasonable.
And you can't take criticism.
You're probably way older
than
than
the community.
So yeah, you really should make an effort to calm down here, Tenebrous. Now about the issue of the people attacking your videos getting sent lots of hate, what did you say you thought about that?
I literally get like 15 different pictures a day of people trying to like get at helpers. Like, can you stop doing that? Like, don't do that at all, please. I don't recommend doing that. Like, that's not cool. I don't sanction it. But however, some complete and fucking idiots in this community who think everything that my fans do is automatically my fault. There's some people who think that, you know, I represent all my fans and I can control them. Do you realize how mental that is?
You're not completely right. You seem to think that as long as you give this short little speech about how, hey, don't be mean to helpers, I don't condone that, then it's all gonna be fine. No one's gonna send hate. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, and you know this. People are gonna act out of line with what you say, I get that, but you can, and you do control your fans to an extent. Just by how you exist, how you speak. You act as an example to your undoubtedly young and impressionable audience on how to act, for better or worse. People are like sponges, man. They're gonna absorb your personality. All the time they're referencing and trying to act like you or other YouTubers, social media icons, celebrities. Let's look further into how you influence your own fan base. Here's an old video from when NoBoom defended himself against your hacking accusations. I'm not actually going to comment on what I think about the NoBoom drama, or any of the old stuff about Tenebrous hacking, whatever all that was, because it's not relevant to what we're talking about. This is not me trying to tear Tenebrous' channel apart, we're just trying to stop helpers, other folk, from getting attacked severely. Anyway, NoBoom, he was civil in his video, kind of satirical, cracking jokes here and there. He wasn't super serious in his response. Check out his comments section, it's the same thing, it's like a reflection of what we saw in his video. People making jokes, having a laugh, it's all a good time. Let's see Tenebrous' comments section from when he attacked Lego Maestro. And as we have seen, he attacked him really hard. Tons of name-calling, swearing, very insulting, personally attacking the man. Like, cyberbullying? Overused word, so much of the time it's incorrectly used. But I might say this is legitimately cyberbullying against Lego Maestro. So as a result, you can see many of the top comments are people being really uncivil, aggressive, toxic, and rude to the guy, attacking his physical appearance even, because that's what Tenebrous was doing in his own video too, save for the last part perhaps. This is just evidence that you really do control your own fans. As a YouTuber, you define what's okay and what isn't with your own actions and words. Further to that point, you attract people to your channel with your personality, what you say and do, and you reinforce those certain traits within your fans with the ones you express. You know the saying, the apple doesn't fall too far? Yeah, it applies here too. You control your fan base to an extent. Like, listen to what you just said here.
Some complete and fucking idiots in this community who...
This was moments before you asked your fans not to attack people, or helpers essentially. You want to tell your fans not to be rude, not to give hate when you talk about other people like this? That does not make too much sense. Why is it that you're allowed to insult and attack others like this, and your fans aren't? It's looking a lot like you just don't want to take responsibility when you're criticized for encouraging that behavior. People are coming at you like, man, you're ruining this helper's time on a Hypixel, and all that stuff. You want to deny it. You want to protect yourself. So you just give that one little thing, don't send hate, I don't condone that, and you feel that you don't take responsibility anymore. Maybe it works like that in the legal world, but it doesn't and should not in a truly ethical argument. This is a recurring thing for you, Tenebrous. Let's look again at your video where you attacked Lego Maestro.
You're retarded! Your autism is screaming in my face right now. You fucking retard. Who the fuck cares? I can't wait to see what the retard has to say. This is a fucking lie. This whole thing is a fucking lie. This kid is literally so fucking fake. You cannot take fucking criticism. Fuck this kid. I swear to God, fuck this kid. Fuck these people. I think you're wrong for making this retarded video with fake news. Hypixel alert, fucking fake news. He's lying. This kid is a fucking lie. Entire fucking title is a clickbait. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck off.
Oh yeah, he's telling us not to send hate, guys. That makes everything better. You know what people's fan bases are like. From other YouTubers and mine and yours, you know they act on just about everything we say. They defend you at ridiculous times and it does more harm than help. Happens to me too. With this common knowledge in mind, I know you already understand that people will keep sending hate regardless of that one little drop in the ocean, don't send hate. Now, some of this stuff, we can't help it. We can't help what our fans do, you're right. We'll talk about that later. If you're genuinely trying to prevent people from attacking these helpers or Lego Maestro, whoever, it will be obvious. As of now, it's obvious that you're just trying to protect yourself. In the video about Lego Maestro, you don't say at any part during the whole actual video not to send hate, don't put anything in the comments, it's just the one line in the description. That's really gonna fix it all after everything you just said.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck off.
I know you're gonna say something like, well, what else do you want me to do to show I really don't want people to send hate? A fair question, and I have some advice. Don't act so much like it's just this thing you have to say. You shout and swear and attack people, then when your fans expectedly send out hate, you make up these excuses as to how you're not liable and it's your fans acting out on their own. And finally, you throw out the don't send hate, as if it's the golden glimmer of light that will save us all from hell everlasting. You sound so reluctant while saying it, like it's a chore. Say it like you mean it, and your fans probably won't send hate, it's that simple. To be fair, you do sometimes get some radical fans who just act out on your behalf. Unfortunately, no matter what you say. None of us can help having some stupid fans. I know that as well as you do. There are things you can't control. I will agree to that extent. That said, the majority of it is up to you. But you act like there's nothing you can do to stop any of it. You will know when there's nothing more you can do. I know you can do a whole lot more. If you had just been civil and kind and actually constructive your whole video, very few people would have sent hate. Very few people would even think negatively about that helper, as they shouldn't. Oh, wanna see something really ironic?
Alright, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this video.
You're the one saying you're going to get sent hate when you just straight up attacked Lego Maestro for 8 solid minutes. You're thinking about the hate that's gonna get thrown your way? Want to know what you're really saying? Haha, nah guys, forget about Lego Maestro, forget about all the helpers whose reputations I've completely ruined. I'm going to get attacked for being so unjustifiably aggressive and toxic. Woe is me, I was the only brave soul who was willing to speak out about this controversial topic. Okay, enough about that. However, you go a lot into the fact that you don't condone this hating behavior. Sure, you don't condone it, but you definitely don't care enough to make a decent effort to stop it. I've made videos similar to yours here, but they have some pretty major differences. I lied, they aren't so similar. When I made the video exposing AI for trying to expose me for hacking, I did it in a more comedic manner, lots of jokes thrown around, pretty heavy sarcasm a lot of the time, no swearing or screaming at the guy or really insulting him at all. And even at the end of the video, I had a 1 minute long disclaimer saying, hey, this is all good and fun, let's send no hate. More in depth than you in your videos. When some radical degenerate still sent hate, I got into a collab with AI and we cleared his good name. I don't think I could have done anything more there, but this video is not about me, and I don't want to brag about how I'm such a good person because a lot of sort of my attack videos in the past did not go as far to protect the people I was attacking. Even then though, I was still pretty civil in the attacks, unlike you. So before my fans can question my stance here and say, well, Happy Hour, how are you going to be pulling the moral man card on Tenebrous when you built your whole channel off of cyberbullying AI? My attack videos have been mostly for comedic purposes. It's just for laughs. I say mostly because sometimes it is pretty fun to try and really roast people, so I feel you, Tenebrous, but you go too far. You really set out to tear into these guys, even if you hide behind the statement that you're trying to help Hypixel's helpers. Like a lot of the things I've mentioned, I'm gonna go into that one later too. You do have a long ways to go before you can say there was really nothing else you could do to prevent the hate. And again, we're gonna return to you being an example. Let's say that X-Turtle, after making like hundreds of his videos of him hacking, released a statement to his fans where he said, "Hey guys, don't hack." Do you think that all the fans he inspired to hack so long ago would listen? No. Using the same idea, do you think your fans are going to not send hate if you tell them not to, when in all these videos, you're the one attacking the helpers with such an intensity? But to give credit where credit is due, at the very least, you actually gave the message outright in the actual video, as opposed to, you know, just one line in the description. Now you have to, like, not be mean, because your words speak louder than your words. People will take the weight of all your swearing and shouting and aggressiveness over your 20-second segment of saying, "Don't be mean." You do this "I'm not liable" thing elsewhere as well. You claim you cannot be criticized for making this video just because you didn't directly go after or bait this helper yourself.
You can't really blame me for posting this or criticizing it because I was not the person who found it, made it, or did anything with it. I just reposted it.
But you are still going out of your way to criticize this helper with the screenshot you were given. How could you not be criticized for this? It's not as if someone sends you the screenshot and you automatically have to make this video. You can just leave that screenshot alone. Yes, you can be criticized. Just because you say you can't, just because you think you're protected with this one weightless line, does not make it so. Oh, and also, let's listen to this clip one more time.
Some complete and fucking idiots.
What is that? Complacent? Is that like a mix of complete and blatant? Tenebrous, you cannot do that. That's not how English works. This points to a bigger issue with how low effort these types of videos from you are, and I already mentioned some of this. Now, I'm not saying that's what all your content is like. A lot of your other content is pretty good, which is why I watch your stuff. It's just these attack videos, and from a purely objective standpoint, they've been produced very quickly without too much effort at all. I might go so far as to say they were rushed and you were just being lazy. But now we're getting into more weightless speculation, which I don't want to do. So this issue now, it doesn't really speak to the nature of your content, but it's more from an entertainment value standpoint. These videos are not visually entertaining. You haven't even put in the basic effort that would increase the quality tenfold. By that, I mean when looking at what's said in the screenshot or the tweet, we really only need to see that for like 1 minute, 30 seconds even. After that, we know what the screenshot says. We don't have to keep looking at it for the rest of the 5 minutes. The rest of the video, you can just run some basic gameplay footage over it, like 1v1s on Faithful MC you do for most of your videos. It's not hard. You can just show that footage, make the video a whole lot more appealing, and then cut back to the tweet when necessary. But let's discuss something with a little more substance now. I don't think you'd be bothered to prepare an actual script for these videos. You just wish yourself good luck and wing it. At the very least, you might have written down some notes, points to bring up. I know I haven't seen your editing process, but it's evident from the final product that there is little effort and time put into these. Like, I'll give you some credit there, it's hard to do things on the spot and manage to still bring up a couple of good criticisms. Is what I would say if this wasn't a YouTube video. This isn't a live performance. You get to record as many takes as you want when making a video. Infinite tries. There should be no excuses for stuttering, messing up your lines, because you can edit all that out. But it is you who chooses not to. Chooses being the key word. You might come up with the excuse that like, oh, I got no video ideas, I'm pressed on time, gotta keep up with the daily upload schedule. And at first it sounds understandable, but it's not. This is all under your own regime. You make the rules, you decide whether you want a daily schedule or not. With that schedule comes a trade-off for quality versus quantity, and you seem to have put in a lot more quantity than quality. Which is usually fine until it's at another person's expense. Man, I got no video ideas either, I'm feeling you. Why do you think I'm making this video? Joking aside, I do run into the same issues that you might be dealing with. Just give yourself more time. Putting more effort into each video is probably the better option instead of being like, no time on my hands, just gonna pick out another real human being to attack on the internet for clicks. I'm being really blunt here, but this is what it boils down to. You're not forced to make these sort of videos. If you really want to, then you can be civil about it. And you can put more effort into them, so you don't contradict yourself so much, which we will get into as the video goes on. But as for now, I want to point out how little time was spent on each of these videos.
Seriously, fuck off. Like, honestly, like, this is just so stupid. But, like, I'm pointing it out. Deal with it. Deal with it, okay? Deal with it, okay? Okay.
Because you're really just winging the entire thing, you end up stalling a lot of the time, or leaving dead air. Keep in mind, you have ways to avoid this. 1. Make a script so you know what you're going to say without chances of screwing up like that. 2. edit it out if you mess up. It's less than a 10-second process to just cut out each instance of you stuttering. And I know, it does appear that this is an extremely weak point I'm making against you, Tenebrous. Like I'm just attacking these little mess-ups that don't affect the actual content at hand. But the effects are more serious, we will see later on. Actually, we've already seen some of the effects. All the times above, you've been shown to be a hypocrite. That's because when you're winging a script, it's hard not to undermine or contradict yourself later down the road. You forget the points you've made in the past and you trample over them later, because in this on-the-spot environment, you're too busy thinking in the present. Let's also discuss your lying dilemma, Tenebrous. I'm not saying that you are a liar, it's that you say others are liars. Quite often, in fact. Take a look at these.
And this is the main thing I disagree with. So, number one, it's not a witch hunt. A witch hunt would be me actively going out and trying to find people to bait. So that's obviously just a lie right there. He's lying. We didn't bait him! He's lying. This kid is a fucking liar. He's a liar. This guy right here is a liar. He is a lying scumbag. You are lying. You are lying about me. The amount of lies in this right now are so high, you have no idea. This kid is a liar. He is a liar. So I don't like liars, and this kid is a liar.
Yeah, I think we got the point. In the first example, you say that Hypixel is lying because this is not a witch hunt. I might beg to differ, but that's beside the point right now. See, Hypixel thinks it's a witch hunt. You do not think it's a witch hunt. Just because you disagree with him does not mean he's a liar. And similarly, there's a clear difference between lying and being misinformed. And I'm talking about the case with Lego Maestro. Say, for instance, you're in school and your teacher asks, "What's 2 plus 2?
It's 4 minus 1.
Is that 5?
You are lying! He's a lying scumbag!
That's not exactly how it works. I mean, I think Lego Maestro is just pretty badly misinformed here. Don't get me wrong, for being a news channel especially, having and giving the wrong information is a very bad thing, but he doesn't have the intent of giving misinformation as far as I can tell. He's saying what he thought was true. Tenebrous, I don't know if you're doing this intentionally, but calling someone a liar like you do is a really divisive strategy. It makes the whole situation something like an us versus them. You label them as liars like they're the enemy. And again, they're not even truly lying. Well, some dictionaries define lying as simply not telling the truth. Other definitions require an intent to lie, where you must know the actual truth and tell otherwise. I believe in the latter definition.
You need to know what vape is and what a mod is, like what the difference is in order to be staff. Like you're a staff member on the largest server, which has one of the biggest cheating problems in the entire community. You need to know what this is. So the fact that the helper doesn't know what vape is shows that they are ignorant and they do not deserve staff. Common sense. If you have helpers and moderators that don't know what they're talking about, they should not be staff.
It's declared that the helpers need to know what these things are. They are ignorant if they don't. Consider this proposition. What if understanding all these different hacked clients isn't listed under Hypixel's requirement for helpers' knowledge? What if they're not trained properly to know all that? You're so adamant that they need to know what these things are, and if they aren't, they don't deserve staff. But what if this specific server, or any other server, does not ask for staff to know these hacked clients as a requirement? If helpers are not trained to know these hacked clients, how can you criticize them for not demonstrating what they haven't been trained? And you mentioned that yourself. You say this.
And if they don't know what it is, then it's clear that Hypixel needs to ramp up the way they're teaching their helpers, the way they're recruiting staff members. They definitely need to change that.
Hypixel needs to ramp up the way they're teaching their helpers. So if your issue is not with the helper in particular who has just been a victim of Hypixel's poor vetting process, shouldn't you be blocking out the helper's name? If that's what you truly believe, then the helper in question does not actually matter. All that matters is that they are a staff member, and you're just letting undeserved hate flood their way by not blocking out their name. The thing is, you don't come back around to, maybe it's not the helper's fault, maybe it's just the staff hiring process. I'll say it again, maybe the staff training process does need improvement. You could be right there. But you switch between arguments. It's the helper's fault and you need to fix the vetting system. If the staff are not trained or hired properly because of the poor system, does that not remove responsibility from the incompetent helper who has been hired prematurely? I think it does. To explain things more simply, I'll give an analogy. Imagine someone going in for a job interview at a supermarket. They're going to be the customer support person. For the interview, the manager doesn't ask too many questions. It's basically just, hey, just making sure you're not going to murder everyone? Okay, you're hired. With very minimal training, they're sent into work the very next day. So that very next day, the first customer who approaches them asks, hey, is this product allergy free? And our newly hired employee answers, I don't know, is that a mod? Eat it at your own risk, I guess. From the outsider's perspective, in this case the Tenebrous news channel, all they see is the incompetency of the employees. They put the story on their evening news about how the customer support person could not answer the customer's basic question. And while from the outside view, the employee seems to be at fault, it was really the poor hiring process. And Tenebrous, that's what you've already shown you understand. Yet still, the innocent employee or helper receives a ton of undeserved harassment. What I think is that you are ignorant for not thinking about this before you just attacked this helper who never did anything to you directly. How do you know if this staff member does not deserve staff? Do you know the staff acceptance guidelines? What if it's not in the staff guidelines that they need to specifically know what vape is? Do you run the staff team? How do you know all this? Maybe by Hypixel's own guidelines, this helper most definitely deserves staff, in which case you're just flat out wrong. And you know what that makes you? It makes you a liar. By your own standards, you're a liar. This kid is lying. The amount of lies right now is so high. Not only that, but you're attacking this helper so severely, and you didn't take this into consideration. They weren't like other helpers we've seen who just blatantly gave wrong information, which is a lot worse than this helper merely asking the question, is that a mod? Because he knew he didn't know what he didn't know, and instead of pretending he did, he humbly asked what that mod was. For a person with staff status, I think that takes courage. There was no cowardice there, and that's respectable. You ignored that. You just attacked them for your own benefit. That is the definition of ignorance. Something I don't think you brought up yet is the fact that the one screenshot you look at for each of these videos provides little context. You don't actually know the entire story. I mean, I want to be realistic. I doubt myself that there's any story beyond the screenshots, but you go ahead and support the point I'm making right now.
And I didn't even bother watching this. He didn't even watch the video. He just saw the screenshot and the action, or that's all he saw, and then he's deciding off of it, which in my opinion is way too little evidence.
You're saying that Hypixel can't criticize your video because he's only seen the screenshot and the actions speak for themselves. Is that not exactly what you're doing? Someone sent you the screenshot, you were not there, you did not see the whole chat logs. I hate to be that guy, but what if something ridiculous happened outside of the screenshot? Like the helper said, haha, nah, I'm joking, aim assist is illegal. I highly doubt that being a reality, right? The chances of that aren't very good. But if you're going to go ahead and make the point about Hypixel lacking conclusive evidence, you really should not be making these videos without conclusive evidence either. Yes, I'm kind of just nitpicking on you about this little thing where the helper might have redeemed themselves outside the screenshot, but you're doing the same thing to Hypixel, saying he doesn't know what's really going on inside your video. I'm going to provide an actually better example because what a helper might have said is not a great argument. Here, Tenebrous claims that Hypixel is preventing Skier from communicating with him.
He unfollowed me as well, and he basically took his YouTube rank because they're forcing him to not talk to me over our friendship, which is ridiculous.
You don't know that. What if Skier just up and said, nah buddy, I'm not supporting you in this argument, I don't want to be involved with this. Like, he said that on his own accord. He didn't tell you anything outside of, I can't be involved. So you don't have conclusive evidence. You didn't get a direct statement from Hypixel saying that they're blocking off your lines of communication. Of course, why would they? But that's beside the point. The point is, you criticize Hypixel for not knowing the full story when you base your arguments without knowing the full story either.
I hope everyone understands we can't demote for one mistake. Yeah, of course you can't demote. I never said you should demote them. They shouldn't have gotten staff in the first place.
It's one thing to contradict your argument from the beginning of your video at a later point in your video. It's another to do it right in the same sentence. I quote, "You shouldn't demote them. They never should have been hired in the first place." What does it all even mean? Are we not supposed to demote them to honor the fact that we mistakenly hired them? That's completely ridiculous. And where are our priorities here? How are we placing our values? Is being demoted from the staff team worse than getting sent tons of hate from a video focused entirely on your singular screw-up? I think if it happened to me, I would just resign from the staff team. I would not even need to be demoted.
I like Hypixel. I like the server. I want to help the server.
You claim to want to help Hypixel, you want to help the staff team, which is why you are making your videos. This isn't a proven fact, and I have no real solid evidence to back this up, but I myself think that no, you don't want to help Hypixel as much as you want to help yourself. You want to help your channel grow with these view-grabbing videos. I mean, yeah, everyone wants their channel to grow. I want my channel to grow. Why do you think I'm making this video? Let's be real about this. Like, you're real about it. You even say that you do these videos because they get clicks and people want to see them.
I've made roast videos on Hypixel, like, for the past 2 months. Those are the most popular videos on my channel, and that's why I make them. I posted it on Twitter, got like 600, 700 likes, so I better make a video on this. It's gonna get attention, okay? I'm a YouTuber, okay?
That's fair, but if it does happen that you're not really doing this to help Hypixel, don't hide behind the statement that you are. And about this specific screenshot from this video, you interpret the staff's words in a different way than I did. You seem to think that use at your own risk means that the helper thinks ghost clients are allowed on Hypixel. What I thought it meant was that you use it at your own risk, the risk being that you get banned for using aim assist because it's illegal. I don't know, other helpers have used this phrase, like Elxa said, you jitter click at your own risk, and I don't know if this is a commonly used phrase by staff members whose meaning was somehow warped, because like when I search up what at your own risk means, I get this. So this is what I thought it means. If you do something at your own risk, let's say hacking, you're responsible for the harm to yourself. I interpret this as, if you're hacking, the risk to you is that you will be banned because it is illegal, and that's all your fault, implying that the helper knows aim assist is legal. It is a strange way for the helper to word it. They could have just been upfront and said yes or no. In the screenshot alone, at least, it's pretty unclear. But the fact that you didn't really consider what this helper might actually otherwise be saying proves how trigger happy you are to get these videos out for views. You just see the slightest mistake, it exposes the staff, and you can boost your channel off that. This is not so much about helping the community anymore, is it?
The staff team has issues. This is definitely an issue. You have staff vetting issues. I'm pointing it out. Deal with it. There's an issue with the staff team. That's all I gotta say. There's an issue with the staff team, and I'm just here to point it out. You need to have a more aggressive vetting process in terms of this, and hire better staff. And if you hire better staff members, to be honest, like really hire better staff members.
You more than often give your rallying cry of, the staff team has an issue. This needs to be fixed. There's a problem in the staff team. We hear this over and over again from you, yet we hear no specifics. You say yourself that the staff team can't be fixed because it sucks.
They can't fix their staff team because their staff team are horrible.
How do you expect them to fix something that you yourself say is unfixable? This is not a reasonable thing. So is this how you're trying to help? Telling Hypixel they need to fix their staff because they suck? It's easy to identify that there is a problem. It's harder to identify how to exactly fix the problem, and harder still to actually execute the fixing process. You're just doing the easy part. The criticism is safe and easy. You just sit back and point out the flaws without risk to your own person. There's a quote in Ratatouille about this. Good Pixar movie, go watch it. In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and themselves to our judgment. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to read. But the bitter truth we critics must face is that in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designating it so. Said by Anton Ego. Here's a time you mentioned a time where you really truly tried to give help to Hypixel. Here we are.
I actually tried to PM, tag, PM Cryptkeeper, tag Cryptkeeper. I tried to I wanted to help him, or give him some ways of detecting things for Watchdog.
And you have done well here. That's what good help looks like. The majority of what's in these videos, they're not good help. It basically sums up to, these staff are giving incorrect information, saying stupid things. There's a problem, you need to fix it, haha. And here's a proposition. Do people like to be sworn at and shouted at and insulted? Are they going to be more accepting of criticism? Oh, and yeah, we already had our bout with criticism. I was saying, are they going to be more accepting of criticism when you shout at them like that? Or are they going to be warded off by your loud, toxic attacks? Rhetorical question, don't answer. This is yet another reason why you should be more civil. People are more likely to get defensive and fire back when attacked with rudeness. The more civil you are, the more likely they'll be civil as well. It never hurts to just be a good person, and I already said this, but I think you need to hear it again. It would be a lot more helpful to do a bit of research and explain what exactly the staff team might need to fix. Yeah, get a bit of knowledge on the best ways to run a staff team, learn more about how Hypixel runs their team. But wait one second, this is really hard to do. How do you go about getting that sort of information? Which is why you, Tenebrous, haven't done it, or at least haven't demonstrated your knowledge in these videos to provide help. Because it's really hard to do. So I get why you're limiting yourself to, hey, the staff suck, fix the problem. But that's just not helpful. If you want to help, you are probably better off not making these videos at all. The other option would be to be a lot nicer about it. That works too. I actually recommend that one. But you just flaunt these photos of staff saying things like, look at the idiocy. Hypixel staff sucks!
That their staff team just complete idiots. The entirety of their staff team, they're just complete idiots everywhere.
We've already seen you tear at the staff team for having a problem, needing to fix it, all that. Here you just get right into, they're complete idiots. The staff team probably does have a problem, maybe more than one problem, but saying they're complete idiots? I mean, you've already said yourself that this is the biggest server on Minecraft, so they have some standards to uphold, right? I see what you're saying, but on the same token, wouldn't you think that to become the biggest server, the staff team that creates the server would have to be better than just complete idiots? I'm just saying, I don't know the real extent of their capabilities, but I think the fact that they're the biggest server speaks for itself.
It's my right to make the video because That's how I think like I'm gonna get the community to change.
I want to know, how do you think this gets the community to change? You're showing an image of a single staff member giving wrong information, you harass them for their lack of knowledge, and you attack the staff vetting process for not getting better staff who could answer these questions correctly. This is not how you get the community to change for the better. People just become more unfairly critical of the staff, strains the relationship between the staff and the players. These videos create that divisive gap between the two groups, because even though you don't say it outright, you make it seem like the staff are our enemy. You say you're helping them, but you're just feeding off of their mistakes. The community starts to disrespect the staff now instead of working alongside them. This is more harmful than it is helpful. People are going to hesitate when applying for staff because there's that new danger of making a mistake, having it screenshotted and sent to you so you can make a video mocking them for it, from which you're going to get a lot of hate. Helpers are going to hesitate when answering questions, wondering if they're being baited and worrying if they're going to say the wrong thing. I'm not saying you're baiting, it's what people might think. And these videos create a division between the staff and the players. You're making this false illusion where you can't take the staff team's word seriously. It's being made out so that you shouldn't trust the word of the staff team now that they're seen saying all this wrong stuff. But it's a misrepresentation. You don't make videos, you don't report on the thousands of correct questions staff answer every day. You just show their few screw-ups. So look, a few mistakes every now and then are inevitable. When people go out to find those mistakes and send them to you, it looks like there's a real problem, especially when that's all you report on your channel too. There was never a video about staff member says hacks are illegal, and for good reason. I don't think the staff team needs your videos. I think by now, either they know they have a problem, or they know they're being misrepresented by you, and none of us know if they're working at their problem or not. Chances are, they are. Again, being the #1 server, I'd say they have to be working pretty hard on just about everything. Factless, baseless points I'm making here, but it's not an unreasonable expectation.
Some people say this might not be the best way of doing it. However, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to write a 5-paragraph essay to Hypixel?
This is a good question actually. If you can't figure out how to actually fix the staff team like you want Hypixel to do, and conversing with the higher-ups has proven poor, I see your plight. However, I don't think going the opposite way is gonna work out. Like, it's not as if, well, I can't find a way to help them, guess I'll just hurt them instead. I don't want to make any assumptions, but have you tried applying for help yourself? That could be a helpful way to do things. You probably have already considered this though, maybe it's too time consuming and you can't make the commitment, I don't know. Before we move on, I want to make a quick clarification. I know Tenebrous, I refer a lot to you swearing and shouting and insulting people, and I realize that for pure argumentative purposes I should declare why it's such a bad thing, because I keep portraying those things as negative, which they are, but I have yet to explain why that is. Because you might argue like, well, this is my personality, this is what my channel is based on, I swear a lot, and I want to build an audience based off of this persona, this aggressive, overly passionate, ranting man. That would be respectable and fine, I guess, like Filthy Frank. He does all that same stuff for comedy purposes. The difference is, you don't. I'm going to talk later about the fact that your videos aren't jokes, but for now this is about the swearing, why it's bad. You're attacking other real people here. You're swearing and shouting and insulting them, yada yada, we've been over this. Like, swearing is intrinsically fine, I think. They're just words, but they're strong words, and when you use them to be harmful towards another person, that's not nice. Would you do the same thing to that person in real life? Would you just get up in their face so hard that you're hitting on them with every word? Because that's the equivalent of what you're doing in your videos. You said it yourself, this is a block game for 10-year-olds. Why are you going to be so mean to these helpers who might just be 10 years old themselves? I know helpers are supposed to be 16, but that's probably not always the case, and you seem to agree.
First of all, there's like multiple grammatical errors. Aren't you supposed to be 16 to apply for staff on Hypixel?
Young adult relentlessly harps on 10-year-old child. Does that sound like a good thing to you? It's hard to argue ethics, so I hope you're getting this, but understand that these are real things to consider. Morals are the basis of human society. You can't just throw your arms up and say, who cares, to all this. There is also something to be said about pandering to the unreasonably, emotionally unstable. Like, yeah, we should all be able to handle the rough push and shove criticism that essentially comes with being on the internet. I don't want to be advocating for the, hey, no rudeness at all, play nice, this is all sunshine and rainbows. No, and I hope that's not how I was coming across earlier either. Because I also like to engage in the daily degenerative internet banter myself. But Tenebrous, I think your content definitely crosses a line. Like, we've already discussed, you're not joking. It's really a defamation of these helpers. Like, their reputation is ruined. They are now seen as the terrible staff members who don't know anything. Because that's how they're portrayed in your videos. I've seen your Twitter, and sometimes you just tweet out the funny stuff about people doing stupid things, like this image here, or the image is about staff answering questions incorrectly. That's cool and fine. You're just showing it around to give people a laugh. It's only a small tweet. However, when you go out of your way to make an entire video about it, not only that, when you're so rude and we've been over this, I don't have to say it again. In your most recent video, you claim to have tried to get away from this aggressive shouting tone, so you yourself probably know that it's not the greatest thing in the world to be so shouty, too.
An issue, and I'm not getting really mad this video because I want to take a more mature approach to this type of stuff. I'm not going to be screaming, I'm not going to be yelling, I'm just going to talk about it.
You say you don't want to be getting too mad or start shouting again, but can I just show you what you said 20 seconds earlier in the same video?
Oh my god, Tenebrous, you're going to hurt his feeling. Like, who gives a fuck, okay? I can say what I want, I do what I want, fuck off.
Yeah. You can say you're trying to change, but it doesn't mean anything until you actually demonstrate some of those changes. To be fair, this video did have comparably less shouting and general disrespect towards the helper than in your other videos, but again, the video is based on the same purpose of getting views at the helper's expense. You didn't do anything like blocking out their name, you still got some of that severe shouting go on. The tone is still, staff have a problem, go fix it. So when you say this,
I want to take a more mature approach to this type of stuff.
Meanwhile, this is still happening.
Who gives a fuck? I'm not getting really mad this video. I can say what I want. I'm not going to be screaming. I do what I want. Fuck off. I'm not going to be yelling. Fuck off. I'm just going to talk about it. Who gives a fuck? I want to take a more mature approach. Fuck off.
I'm going to just assume that the side effects of going scriptless are coming back in again, so probably you just forgot or don't care about what you just said in the previous minute. But we see it again written in your comments section. When someone criticizes you for basically what I'm criticizing you for, you tell them you understand what they're saying. You appear to be quite reasonable, but in practice, it mostly just gets thrown out the window. This was from the comment section of the video Hypixel's response. The two videos after this seem to have learned nothing from the past ones, despite you saying you understand and despite you saying you're moving away from the yelling and jerkiness. Once more, you can say you want to change, but that means nothing until you show that you've changed. When I went through your newest stuff, this is the one video I found where you were pretty civil and constructive, so it deserves to be known that you did this good thing once. In this one, there was very little shouting or swearing or insulting people, if at all. You seem to have actually tried to give your advice for real. Good! Somehow it went downhill from this first video that kind of started off your criticism series on Hypixel. Okay, back on track now. I want to go back to that single mistake thing too. Let's discuss that. Here in a video about why people dislike 1.9 PvP, you say that the 1.9 sweep attack created by swinging at the tempo given by the weapon's cooldown is quote-unquote basically kill aura.
The sweep attack. If you guys don't know, the hit cooldown in Minecraft, if you attack at the beginning of the hit cooldown before it goes down at all, you basically do something called a sweep attack, which is basically kill aura.
I'm sorry, but I don't follow. The sweep attack deals AoE to surrounding enemies when you click at the right moment. It deals the weapon's maximum damage as well. I don't know much at all about PvP, so excuse me for this rudimentary definition, but I thought kill aura was when you instantly hit anyone who enters your field of attack range. This is not what the sweep attack is. That's just wrong. You're giving misinformation. Wow! You know what that means?
He's lying. This kid is a fucking liar. He's a liar. This guy right here is a liar. He is a lying scumbag.
Now, according to your own standards and beliefs, you are not only a liar, but you are... yeah, all the things you called those helpers in those other videos. Because you made a single, simple mistake like all humans do. This is just pure idiocy. So many levels of stupidity. Tenebrous has a problem. There is an issue with Tenebrous' YouTube channel. Fix your Tenebrous. People will try to tell me, oh, you're hurting Tenebrous' feelings, he only made one mistake. Like, honestly, I don't care. Who cares? Like, seriously, like, honestly, seriously, seriously,
fuck you. Fuck off.
Seriously now, I don't want to turn this whole thing into a mock fest. You did make a simple mistake. 1.9 is not your area of expertise when it comes to PvP, so I wouldn't expect you to know this stuff as much as you know the 1.8 stuff. I would let it pass, but in this video you are criticizing the 1.9 PvP update. If you don't know the facts about the update you're criticizing, can you criticize it fairly? No, not really. This is the issue with your being so insistent in your rhetoric. It's that when you screw up, it's hard to pull back and receive forgiveness.
It's common sense to know what aim assist is and what isn't, and if it's allowed or not.
Common sense to know these hacked clients, these mods. I thought it'd be more common sense to know the mechanics in this really infamous vanilla Minecraft update than it is to know the hundreds, or I don't know, maybe it's bloody thousands of hacked clients that exist in the realm of Minecraft. You preach to us about the need for staff to know this stuff, and you don't know your own facts when you need to? Yes, there is a difference in that you're not staff, but for someone so unforgiving about the lack of correct knowledge, you call them liars, you call them ignorant, you say they're complete idiots. Now you're the one with the incorrect facts. What does that make you then? I mean, this opens up a whole other can of beans. You base many videos off of your immense knowledge of the Minecraft PvP world. Again, this is a simple mistake, I would just let this pass, but if you couldn't be bothered to check your own facts, how much can we trust from you for the rest of your so-called facts? I mean, that's if we can trust you at all. Can we believe what you say in any of your educational videos? Are you qualified to educate people in Minecraft PvP? Again, these questions probably hold less weight due to the fact that you don't play in 1.9, and it is not your main area of expertise. But think about this. Tenebrous, you criticize the staff a hell of a lot for not knowing their stuff when they should. Because if we can't trust the staff of their own server to tell us the right information, who do we trust? And that's a good and fair point. But on the same token, if you're to tell us the importance of knowing your facts, what does it tell us when you yourself do not know your own facts? And what does it tell us when someone who criticizes others for not knowing your facts doesn't know their facts themselves? Maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but not nearly as much as you would be if you saw someone else making a similar level mistake. Like, we've seen your videos attacking helpers. A whole video here we've been talking about how you make massive deals out of these minor mistakes. You're swearing and shouting and insulting people all over the place. Granted, these minor mistakes aren't really just minor mistakes when they're by staff members who should be trusted to tell the truth and give the right information, as I discussed, but the point remains. They answered one question wrong. Everyone answers questions wrong from time to time. Everyone makes mistakes because, we're human. And as we can see, you're human too, and you make mistakes. So, I recommend that you just be a little more forgiving for this type of stuff. It'd benefit everybody. Here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that you're going to try to pretend all your videos are jokes and you're going to make me look foolish for being so serious and accusatory of your quote-unquote satirical videos. Nope, that's not happening. Maybe that would have been your fallback plan, but it's not going to hold up.
WHYYY, stop messaging me! I'm trying to record a video! You message me like 4 times a day! Just kidding, everyone go sub to him, he's actually really cool. Okay.
On Tenebrous' video, and then a day later...
My name is not Tenebrous Lego Maestro.
See, times like this, we can actually tell you're joking. Jokes are great, and fine, and fun, and I actually didn't expect you to make any in your videos considering how hard you try to tear these helpers apart. But this is about the limit for you when it comes to humor. The rest of it is all just genuine anger and shouting. All your swearing and insults, I'll give you careless banter at best, but most of this seems like you're really just trying to get that point across. No jokes involved, just uncouth bluntness. This is not defendable as being simply rough humor. Even if it was, you should give these sorts of disclaimers like, hey, a lot of it I'm just joking around, it's all for fun. I have to do it in my videos sometimes because I do a lot of this playful banter. All the time I make little skits about how bad Hypixel's players are because I don't know how to be funny without insulting someone. But I always try to let people know I'm joking. There are hints. I always run some goofy, lighthearted music in the background. I talk like an idiot on purpose to get the message across that I'm joking as well. If I don't think that's enough, I give an in-video disclaimer telling people, hey, it's just a joke, send no hate. Sometimes put it in the description, in the comments. I haven't seen this at all. Nothing tells us that this could all just be a joke. I would heavily doubt that too. You stated your intent to seriously help Hypixel in the community, which we've already gone over. So I don't know how anything like this would come close to being a joke. I would like to look at the point you made about how this helper deserves to be called out for saying something wrong. This leads to a bigger thing, but first let's discuss how this just isn't the case.
He does not condone me making a video on it, which is like interesting because I think if someone makes a mistake like that, they deserve to be kind of like put in the spotlight.
So you think the helper deserves to get called out for making this mistake? Maybe they deserve to get shown their own mistakes, and perhaps there's going to be a punishment for that to their staff status, and I think that's the maximum reasonable consequence. You're going so far as to say they deserve to be called out on YouTube, where you pull in tens of thousands of people to also call them out and give them a ton of hate. Are we keeping in mind the scale of this simple, honest, innocent mistake? That little mistake deserves all this attention and exposure. I see your point where this lack of knowledge, this minor mistake, might point to a bigger issue within the staff team. But if the issue's with the staff team as a whole, then again, just blur out the helper's name. You display a complete disregard to the human cost time and time again.
Because I made mistakes in the past, and that's how people got me to change, is they put me in the spotlight, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? And I kind of explained that to him.
So, because you were called out for your mistakes in the same way you're doing to these people, you think it works because it made you change. Yeah, okay, I see now. That's understandable. Nope, no, it's not at all. You're comparing apples to oranges here. The mistake you're talking about, you hacking in the past, is not at all the same as someone unknowingly giving wrong information to one person on Hypixel. You knowingly hacked against other people, ruined their games, and tried to lie to cover up your hacks. The video isn't directly about this whole drama, but I'm trying to prove this point here, so hear me out. You were trying to benefit yourself at the expense of other people. Sound familiar? It should. Now the helper was trying to provide assistance to other people. They were trying to positively affect the Hypixel community, as cheesy as that sounds. They didn't know they were doing something wrong. They were trying to do the right thing. The biggest difference here is intent. You weren't acting with good intent to help other people. You were only helping yourself. And again, that should also sound familiar. The health group was actually trying to do good. They had the intent to help other people and answer their questions, even though that's not what happened and they accidentally answered one question wrong. They answered the question wrong on accident? You hacked on purpose. But you know, let's go with what you're saying. Apparently, when you get shown the error of your way, you say you accept the criticism and change. After how we've seen you truly respond to criticism, I have my doubts. Regardless, I'm going to take your word and expect that you respond to my criticism reasonably and with understanding. So, let's see. Okay, that should wrap things up. Mega long video, longer than I expected. Once more, Tenebrous, I'm not trying to take down your channel. You got decent content most of the time, and that's cool. I'm just trying to stop good people from getting harassed, trying to stop your really toxic attitude, and most importantly, I want views, gotta be honest here. You want views too, we've gone over this. It's just that the way you're trying to get the views, it's pretty scummy to put it lightly. Thing is, these scummy attack videos really do get views, so I know why you're making them, because it's more rewarding to your channel than just regular good lawful content, right? There's a quote about this from the book Canyonrose. It has always seemed strange to me, the things we admire in men, kindness and generosity, openness, honesty, understanding, and feeling, are the concomitants of failure in our system. And those traits we detest, sharpness, greed, acquisitiveness, meanness, egotism, and self-interest, are the traits of success. And while men admire the quality of the first, they love the produce of the second. Said by Doc from Cannery Row, and John Steinbeck wrote that book. It's a good one. Basically, sum it up, if you're a mean man who tramples all over other people to reach the top, that's how you get success quickly and easily. That's what works. But on the other hand, as a society, we seem to appreciate and encourage all the great human qualities of kindness and being a decent person, when those really don't get you to be as successful as, you know, someone who is a mean man and tramples all over other people. So, one more thing, when I asked my fans not to hate on Tenebrous, I really meant it. We're going to show Tenebrous that it's possible, under civil and decent argument, that my fans can also be civil and decent good people. So send no hate. I've already talked about what's wrong with being mean. That we have first grade teachers for that, come on, I don't need to go over it. Send no hate. Of course, I bet there will still be radical idiots who send Tenebrous hate. Just don't be those radical idiots. Thank you. Too long didn't watch? Yeah, this is the internet, we're all gonna have fun being jerks now and then, but it's different when you cross that line by attacking someone as a YouTuber, knowing you have that fanbase who's gonna go after them, while they have no real voice to defend themselves. Just because they made a simple mistake doesn't mean that it's okay to attack them, or make fun of them, or that they're a terrible person who deserves all that. Criticism is not exposing a person for making a mistake to a wide audience in a disrespectful way. If someone answers to 2 plus 2 being 5, will the whole class yelling at them for being a moron help them learn? No, it's gonna make them stop wanting to learn. Also, oh, I can't read that.